after a break. Cleanup complete of our first caution of the day, and today's green flag restarts presented by American Ethanol, American grown, American made, powering NASCAR. And this is what happened to the point leader when he made his pit stop. Issues for him. He has since come back down pit road. He restarts outside the top 25. McMurray did not pit, and he's the race leader as we go back under green.
When they dropped the green flag and the leaders took off, Kyle Busch was just going into turn 3 because he pitted again because they lost so much position, so many positions. They figured might as well come back in and let's get 4 and let's go from there.
Kyle started 19th, and that's where he was running when the caution came out and he made his pit stop. And it's not been a good start to the day for the man who had the title lead coming in. He scored in 41st position right now.
And in the opening, we talked about guys gaining positions on 2-tire stops. Jimmy Johnson went in the garage or in the pits running 20th. He comes out running 22nd. He didn't gain anything on a 2-tire stop. It's the same thing with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Those guys had already said early on, we're going to 2-tire and get positions. Everybody's 2-tiring to get that position, so nobody really changed positions.
But like you said in the pre-race, all right, come in 20th, let me go out 20th or better.
Yeah,
he lost two spots, and you were pointing that out on the pit crew on the pre-race.
And something
got to step it up.
Something everybody watching right here is what Jamie McMurray did. Stayed on track, did not pit, gains the race lead, and we'll see how it balances as the run continues. Right now he's under attack by the pole sitter Ryan Newman, who took 2 tires on his stop and trying to get the lead, and here comes that Penske bunch right behind him.
Well, you know the one car is going to be better because his pressures are up already, and these guys' pressures are just coming up. Once they get up, I think they'll pass Jamie pretty easy. But it's a good strategy call. You got to roll the dice because you never know where these yellows are going to work out. It could work out for the one car down the road, but he's going to have to come in for fuel probably in about 40 laps. These other guys aren't.
And there goes Newman. He's got the lead again, Marty.
And that's not what the rest of the field wants to see. Once the 39 and 14 got out from everyone else, they just really checked out on that last run. A little too loose, especially early in the run for Ryan Newman. Wally talked about it at the top of the show. When you have that low left front air pressure, it's a handful. So that's another reason to take 2 tires. You avoid that problem. That left front tire, normal air pressure. You got 2 right side fresh ones on. Ryan Newman hoping he can pull away from everybody, Adam.
And his teammate Tony Stewart, who was leading when the caution came back, got cycled back a bit on those pit stops. Right now he's in the 4th position. And
you know, good point by Marty. Kyle said it earlier. If you're gonna pass guys, the best time to do it, and as many as you can, is the first part after you make a pit stop. The first 8, 9, 10 laps, that's going to be your best opportunity because then everybody evens out, and it's really tough to make up ground on somebody.
Kurt Busch talked about earlier how good he was in practice Friday and Saturday, and he's got something for Ryan Newman.
Boy, he sure does.
Here's David Rudiman to the inside of Kurt Busch's teammate Brad Keselowski. That the battle for 5th. Off of 4, the battle for the lead. Busch trying to get a nose underneath Newman for the top spot.
And that's the hard part right there. Just getting out the corner. And Newman just backed off the throttle and let Kurt go. It's early in the race. And if you're going to race something like that, all these guys behind you are going to catch up to you in a hurry. So that was a good move right there.
And there's a mess behind him. How about Rudiman, Burton, Gordon, Menard, Keselowski? They're all there for position. 2 guys
look at the 31 slide up the racetrack right there. That he went in there, he got in there really hard, but the car definitely, you can see where it was losing grip and it slid up the racetrack, but it looks a lot better than it did at the start of the race. So they made some adjustments on that to help it in the short run a little bit.
He started 6th, and that's where he's running right now. Jeff Gordon shown signs of being very good here today. He works to the inside of Keselowski for 7th in the running order.
24 car looks really good in the center. That car looks like it's cutting really well, and that's what you want here. See how that car roll? That's a perfect example of a car that's rolling well through the center over the 2-car Keselowski. So I think Jeff's got a good piece on him right now.
I think some guys that have been impressive today, Kyle, you look at David Rudiman, started in the top 5. He's there now. We talked about Jeff Burton, and Paul Menard started in the top 10. All these guys maintaining their position early.
And they're maintaining their position. And I think that's something that we don't usually see out of these guys. Sometimes they qualify real well and they drop by. But I think Paul, as we watch Paul and Brad, these 2 guys have stepped up the game. And you see Paul is rolling through the center of the corner right there. He rolled right in, made the 2-car of Brad a little bit free right there. But these 2 guys deserve to be in the top 10 and can run in the top 10 now and win races. And I think Paul's not far from winning his first.
And now we go down to the Toyota Torque Car, and Larry McReynolds, our crew chief. One of the big topics of conversation this weekend, air pressure.
Well, Adam, you've heard Wally and Kyle talk a lot about air pressure buildup. And you build so much air pressure, especially at a place like New Hampshire Motor Speedway where there is so much brake heat. These guys actually on the left side tires, they will start them as low as 8, 9, 10 PSI. You can see they almost look flat here. Now, over the course of a long run, these tires will build 15 to 20 pounds. So this is what the tire will actually look more like after a long run. And the more air pressure you build up, the better it drives to a certain point. Now, how come if it drives bad that way and drives good this way, how come we don't just start it this way? Well, the reason, the more air pressure you build, the more it becomes like a basketball. And you know what? 4 basketballs versus 4 Goodyear tires, driver not going to be very happy.
Good catch, Larry.
Yeah, you know what? I am so excited to see that TNT brought over Charles Barkley to do like our pit stuff right there. Really good job, Larry.
But yeah, I tell you, that was a great shot of that left front that Larry showed us. I mean, that tire looks like it's flat, and that's how it feels. Those things, I mean, it's squishy when you're driving around this racetrack at a $130, $140.
Big question this week about our race car drivers, athletes. It appears to me crew chiefs are athletes as well.
Yes, they are.
Larry McReynolds playing ball and Kurt Busch playing with the field. He leads 46 laps in at New Hampshire. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series racing in New England. Loudon, New Hampshire, hosting round 19. Kurt Busch, the race leader, one of 4 drivers to be out front today. The double deuce has led 11 laps. Time now to check in on the AT&T Fastest Pit Crew Award. Here's a look at the standings following last week's race. Paul Menard, top 10 today, out front in the fastest pit crew area. Text the car number for the pit crew you think will average the least amount of time on pit road in today's race to 234-567. So you look at Kurt Busch out front. Ryan Newman, Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon, and Jeff Burton make up the top 5, 52 laps in. And running back in the 8th position, Casey Kane, another one of those drivers in the top 20 in points that would love to get a victory. Led 110 laps here a year ago, and now we go inside tracks as we hear from his crew chief, Kenny Francis.
Do 4 tires here. You get 3 away, 2 away, 1 right over here. Wheel safe, 1 on the brake. 2 tires, 2 tires, 2. Gotta go. Yeah, everybody started doing 2 there. I mean, everybody was doing 2, so looked like we were going to come out way in the back if we did 4, so decided to try to do 2 there.
And that's not a bad call to make this early in the race. I mean, if you're going to do it, now's really the time to do it.
But it's just
go
like,
ahead and get the 4.
That's right, but it's just like Kenny said, everybody's doing it, so let's just go with everybody right now. Let's don't get too far out of sequence on tires or on fuel or on anything. The one car is out of sequence on fuel. I mean, we know that because he stayed out.
Right.
So he is out of sequence, and he's got to count on a caution to get back in sequence because all the track position he gained by staying out, he'll lose that plus about triple that. It seems
he'll go
like
a lap down. He'll go probably a lap or more down. By the time this thing, circle, woo, the 4 cars right there.
Yeah, if he doesn't get that caution.
Yeah.
McMurray stayed out when everyone else pitted under caution at lap 31. He had the race lead, but you saw Casey Kane go around and McMurray now 8th.
But then again, if the caution did come out, they played it perfect because now they're on the same strategy as everybody, and they got the track position. That's like I talked earlier. It's just a gamble on, throwing the dice as what happens on the cautions.
Jimmy Johnson started back in the 28th position today, and he's been pretty aggressive in trying to make his way to the front.
Okay, well, I can't say that probably. I mean, we talked about earlier as far as there's a lane and a half here of racing. It looks like 2 lanes, but when you go in, these cars really slide up the racetrack right at this point right here.
And this 1 lap later, Jimmy Johnson racing with Kyle Busch. It's actually on board with Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 18 car.
Clear.
And how good a shot is that? Because every time you saw that smoke, that one little bit of blue smoke, that was tire smoke where they were into each other. Then they got off each other and they got into each other one more time and it just puffed that smoke. That was a cool shot.
Dale Jr. up 7 positions from where he started, Marty.
Yeah, he took 4 tires on that last stop, Adam. Not happy with the handling of the car. And on that little incident we just saw, he now has a left side tire rub on both tires. Steve Letarte said, hang in there as long as you can, bud.
Hey, I think who's going to be leading this thing before long is Jeff Gordon. He's been cranking off some pretty good laps. I've been watching him, and his car's really good right now.
We heard from the in-car camera as we watch out the back here of Junior's car. When the 18 of Kyle Busch rolled in on him, how long Kyle had to wait to pick up the gas.
Whoa, something just something broke or he lost a tire. How about that?
Second caution of the day for
Wow,
Kyle
great
Busch.
camera shot, man.
Great shot. Great shot.
The point leader coming in hammered the wall.
Go to the garage. Go to the garage.
Something definitely broke on that car. I don't know if he cut the right front or what, but it actually, you could see that car just took off.
Yeah, watch this replay, but I want to go back to another replay after we see this. You see Kyle go down in the corner, and then all of a sudden the thing turns dead right. That's a flat tire. He hit hard. That's a hard hit.
That was contact from the 88.
Contact with the 88. Remember when they were there, when we were watching the 18 and the 88, and we saw that smoke? If we go back to that shot, because there was constant smoke, it wasn't just a little bit of smoke.
They were leaning on each other's smoke.
Then they got off, and they got off each other.
Goes down in, you'll see the tire blow. You hear it blow. And once that happens, the only thing that's going to stop you is the wall. There's nothing you can do about it.
What a difference a week makes. Last week he dominates, wins at Kentucky, takes over the point lead. Now he's shown his 4th in the standings. Kyle Busch 3 positions behind brother Kurt, who is the new man on point in the championship chase, and he also leads this race.
And this plays into Jamie McMurray's hand. We were just talking about earlier, and this is a really good move for those guys.
McMurray will pit from 8th here. It'll be his first stop of the day. All the others last pitted under caution at lap 31, Chris.
Well, Jeff Burton was looking for rear grip on the first stop. They just did 2 tires. They dropped the air pressure. This time, still looking for rear grip. They're going to do 4 tires on the 31. Once again, dropping the air pressure. Matt?
Energy from the pit box. Steve Addington saying at this juncture they're going 4 tires. They may call an audible. No, they are going forward. Meanwhile, the 14 to Tony Stewart, they've already made their chassis adjustment. 2 tires heats away, Marty.
Tony Gibson said, stay here. I do not know whether we're going to do 2 or 4. They decide 2 tires at the last moment. Ryan Newman actually suggested that they will win the race off pit road. Once again, forward bite was his biggest issue, and air pressure adjustment once again for Newman, Adam.
Mark Martin stayed on track. He is the race leader. Ryan Newman, the quickest off pit road. Kurt Busch with 4 tires, the 9th to come off the pit lane. Welcome back to New Hampshire. You can log on right now to NASCAR.com/TNT Million and enter the $1 million fan challenge. Make your top 10 picks for today's race in correct finishing order, and you can win up to $1 million. Got to have them in or make changes by lap 75. Mark Martin stayed on the racetrack. He is the race leader. Ryan Newman, Casey Kane, Tony Stewart, Martin Truex Jr. The top 5 as we go back green.
Those guys are really sliding around right now.
That's a cool shot right there.
Casey Kane a little slow in that high lane. Look at McMurray.
A little bit of contact there.
Martin Truex Jr.'s been solid today. He's in the top 5. Newman able to get around Mark Martin for the race lead. And as Newman pulls away, we go to the garage. Kyle Busch out early today, Chris.
Yeah, Kyle Busch out of the car, not happy. Lots of damage on the right side. Kyle, what happened there?
Just blew a tire. You know, too much brake heat transferring through the bead and through the wheel to the bead. Blew a bead on the tire. Just one of them deals, I guess. It'll happen here. Just driving really hard, trying to make up lost track position, and had a pretty fast car. Getting through there, passing a lot of guys. Just you know, it's so hard to pass. We're just trying to find ways that we could, and we're getting there. And just, I don't know, tire wouldn't take it.
Did any of the contact with the 88 help with the situation here?
There's been contact with everybody on everybody out there. So nice try making a story.
Well, I'll go ahead and finish the story. I think that was due to too much friction on the right front tire, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's driving the car, and if he says it's too much brake heat, then I got to believe him. But I think when you look at it, I mean, it's not a story. The thing is, he gets in, these guys get together.